My dear people of Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia, today is the 8th day of the month of September, the year 2018. I'm delighted to bring to you this very important communication concerning the ongoing talks and happenings within the collaborative platform. This communication is intended to throw light on some of the issues raised during the last outing by Comrade Chris Anu of the interim government. I bring to you revolutionary greetings from this end, and I pray that this message meets you in good state. My dear people, let me restate a thing that I said when I published a message on the 15th of August. That message I recorded it in the studios of the Southern Cameroon's television. On the 15th of August, you can recall that was 2 days before the leaders of the frontline movements sat together for discussions. I pointed out very unequivocally at that time, and what I said then is still true today, will be true even tomorrow. And it is important for us to note it, that the enemies we have against any form of collaboration or unity within the struggle are just as strong as the main enemy, La République du Cameroon, that we are fighting against. So if any of you expected that as we started, it was just going to be moving so smoothly, so nicely, and so easily, and just producing results just like that without resistance, then you definitely were seriously mistaken. On making that speech, I knew that there are a lot of people among us who have transformed this revolution into a personal business, who have transformed these revolutions into their own jobs, who have transformed this revolution into their own milking cows. And so they have created cartels, they have created their niches, they have carved them out, and they are lording it over those niches. And so any attempt to make them cede anything, give out, give away anything because of the coming together of all the organizations, of all the frontline movements, will be resisted because they will see this as an attempt to block them, as an attempt to take away from them something that they have held already so dear to their hearts, and they are doing everything to protect, to make sure they don't lose it. This is exactly what is bedeviling the baby steps that we are making in the direction of our collaboration today. Let me make this very clear, that the last outing by Comrade Chris Anu of the interim government reveals so honestly what he personally thinks about this aspect of collaboration, about this whole issue of collaboration. I want to go back and point out that at least his three or last four communications have actually generally been aimed at making sure that only spanners are put in the wheels of this whole thing we call collaboration platform. By the grace of God, whether enemies like it or not, we will make progress with this collaboration initiative. I will point out here very unequivocally that because I've mentioned him and his activities and his communications, which everyone is witness to, it doesn't mean he's the only person whose activities are undermining this whole initiative. We have the arrogance of some of us who believe that they have already acquired so much power within this struggle to the point where they don't owe us any explanation when they carry out certain acts. When you talk to them, they feel too big. They tell you, okay, I'll connect you henceforth to talk to my collaborators. This is true with what is going on in Batibo, where we have some fighters, where we have some young men who are sacrificing their lives, are putting their lives on the line to protect our vulnerable people, the women and children. and the old people who are being killed daily by La République du Cameroon, that these fighters are being held captive, tied in the forest, while those who ordered their captivity are sitting quietly and sleeping in air-conditioned rooms. And they don't think that we deserve any explanation. They don't think that they owe it to us, at least as leaders of other organizations, to come to the platform that we have created to be able to explain exactly what is happening so that together we can put in place measures to jointly stem such ills from ruining our revolution. I must agree here with everyone that there are people who are misguided, who are out there doing all it takes to take advantage of this revolution and exploit from the people and extort from our people and terrorize our people. Those kind of people need to be taken out. Those kind of people, we have to weed them. But this would not be the prerogative of a single organization which would decide to name itself the gendarme of the revolution. Because there is a collaboration platform, there needs to be a joint initiative, a joint task force, which should go out there and follow clearly laid out norms to make sure that we put order, so that in the end, it shouldn't come out as if one group is struggling to dominate all the rest, or that one group is feeling that all other people must pay allegiance to it. This happened in Lebialem. Yes, it happened in Lebialem with the Red Dragons, who felt that the members of the ADF didn't have to trespass in their territory. It has happened in Dom, where people complained that fighters of the ADF stopped over and terrorized them, captured some of their people, seized sugar canes and granules and popcorn, and took them away. And that is the same thing that is now causing serious trouble in Batibo. These are issues that need to be brought up so that within this platform, we come up with a comprehensive resolution. Standing on your own and behaving the way you want only bespeaks arrogance, only indicates that you feel that others don't matter. The freedom or the cause for the freedom of the people of Ambazonia belongs to the people. And the people have a say and will continue to have a say in this. If we are working for the people, we must at each and every moment listen to those people. Now, I have an issue to point out here. When we have this kind of reactions, like the ones I just pointed out, from Comrade Crisano and from the officials of the ADF and the AGC, in the circumstances I've highlighted, those actions are intended to achieve one objective. That is, they annoy the other leaders, they try to alienate these other leaders, they try to scatter, and then at the end of the day, they make sure we don't build. This is something we must, as a people, collectively fight against. Now, let me come to the specific case right now, which has made a lot of noise out there, of Comrade Chris Anu's last outing. First, I should observe that I was surprised, like most of the other leaders, that Chris Anu, who doesn't sit on the panel of the leadership conference, who doesn't participate in the forum where the leaders of the various groups at least share ideas and discuss their issues, he is the one who arrogates to himself the powers to come out there and pour out all sorts of invectives at other groups. Because if I listen to Comrade Chris Anu very well talk about what is happening to the morning race in Washington, it is a clear indication that the IG is a saint and all the other organizations are the demons. This should not be. We are in an era of collaboration. We are in an era of cooperation. We must, at every single moment, weigh what we say out there. The people of Southern Cameroon and Ambazonia expect from us leadership. That is what the people are waiting for. That's what the people are looking up to. They expect us to provide them leadership. They don't expect us to be crying babies, to run to them each time we have something that we naturally should be able to congregate and resolve. The shocking thing is that 2 days ago, While Comrade Chris Anu was out there pouring all sorts of insults and giving allegations about the other organizations and how the money raised was being used, the leaders were having a physical meeting. We were having a physical meeting, including at least 6 of the 7 leaders of the 7 organizations that signed the resolutions concerning those funds. We're having a physical meeting, talking about these things, looking for ways to fix the issues that have come up, looking for ways to address some of the problems that were created. But while we are there doing this, someone is out there weaving back cotton, creating confusion, setting the minds of the people ablaze, trying to discourage people from paying attention to this revolution. That is despicable. That is bad. And that is condemnable. And we must all condemn such an attitude, coming from someone who is supposed to be responsible enough to know that such communication in times like this don't help us galvanize the people towards facing the key challenges that are ahead of us. The enemy is building strength by the day. The enemy is conjugating all the efforts and thinking and rethinking strategies. And we will spend time going out there to tell our people how disorganized and divided we are. It is regrettable. Let me read this for our edification. For those who never had the opportunity to lay hands on the resolutions, Article 8 of those resolutions states clearly that funds mobilized on Sunday, the 19th of August 2018, will be spent on ground zero needs, including women's and children's welfare, internally displaced persons, and refugees. This is clear. Now, what happened with the funds? I learned from that video by Comrade Chris Anu that we raised $50,000. But what we all know and we have been working on at the forum, which was reported to us, is $45,000. And true to that resolution, we have been working on ensuring that this money addresses the needs of ground zero. We agreed in the resolutions to collaborate first around 4 key areas. We agreed to collaborate on communication. And this communication is not about this kind of communication that I'm talking to you. It's communication on ground zero among our people. We agreed to cooperate on finance, to cooperate on diplomacy, and to cooperate on self-defense. Now faced with $45,000, quite far below what we expected to raise on that day, but knowing that it was an ongoing effort, we decided to sit down and to see how this money will reach ground zero as it was initially intended. If we had disagreement at any given point, it would have been on the mode that the money reaches ground zero, not that it should reach ground zero. That the money should reach ground zero, there was and there is general consensus on that. No single organization has disputed that. Now, the first thing we took, the IG brought up an initiative and presented to us some gadgets very important for our people on ground zero. Those gadgets were in some number not enough to attain the objective. And so we agreed that it made sense to be able to increase those gadgets to make them serve the purpose for which they are intended. And so within this $45,000, we set aside $10,000 that the IG, in collaboration with other members of organizations based in the United States, would take charge in procuring those gadgets to complete the orders and in ensuring that they work to make sure they get to ground zero to all the countries in good state. That is joint project. That is collaboration. That is the kind of cooperation we're talking about. And that is the aspect around communication, which is possible for us to do it together. Now, the next aspect had to do with self-defense. We've taken care of our people. We're making sure that our boys and girls who are defending themselves have at least granules and sugarcane to eat and have strength in the various forests where they are hiding, so that they can at least have strength to continue to pray for this revolution to succeed. And so we ask ourselves, how will this go in? How will this get to them? We are dealing with an enemy that makes sure we don't give even food supply to our people. We know that in the past, in the days of the DOD, attempts to make sure that food supply gets to our people ended up with stories of scamming having taken place in Nigeria in some places. We are still to know exactly what happened in those circumstances. And so, Comrade Bo Herbert brought up the idea that in order not to put our eggs all in one basket, it will make a lot of sense that the three groups involved with these activities be given the allocations and then we follow up to ensure that they get to ground zero. Reason we now agreed that there are three groups of the 7 that are most concerned. The IG because of the ASC, the AGC because of the ADF, and the SCYL because of SOCADEF. So we agreed to allocate to each of these groups to ensure this $10,000 each to make sure that they do the procurement and follow the routes that they have established by themselves, because right now it's complicated. We can't take the risk to say, okay, you entrust this to that person because of the delicate nature of the activity concerned here. So we say, let each group get their experts, do these things, but we are going to monitor and make sure that we get responses from ground zero that these things got there. That is what this collaboration is all about. It didn't mean that we shall carry these resources, hold our hands like you saw us hold the hands in Washington, and then happen on ground zero, see us holding our hands, and call the people and say, this is your ground, this is your sugar cane, come and take, we stand and we're sharing. Is that possible, my dear people? How did this therefore become that the leaders wanted the money shared among the groups, and then it is translated to some people who are less informed that the leaders wanted this money even to be shared among themselves? They wanted to share money among ourselves to go and enjoy ourselves. So you notice therefore that there was a trend here. The groups that will get things to ground zero, we take care of that. And that is what we set out to do as collaboration. So when someone comes out there and announces that the leaders wanted this to be shared among themselves, it is ridiculous. Now we established that we have other areas of collaboration that included diplomacy specifically. The other 4 organizations that are not involved in the other activities on ground zero are involved in the area of diplomacy and other areas mentioned within this collaboration framework. So what did we do? To make sure they also pursue those things that they're doing, we allocated to Maurice $1,000, allocated to the Republic of Ambazonia $1,000, allocated to the consortium $1,000, and to the SCNC $1,000. And then the remaining $1,000 of the $5,000 left, we said that $1,000 will go into the new joint account that was going to be created under the name Ambazonia Relief Fund to serve as the base, sum that starts that fund into which all contributions would be made. And the agreement was that for this fund to be created, each of the organizations was going to designate a representative that will, and these people will come together, 7 in number. Perhaps we're going to add another organization because we've been itchy to get women represented in this. The representatives will meet, they will form the board of this unique account. They will have to, following directives that will be laid out in the document we're all going to sign, carry out their activities and report both to the leadership group and to the people of Ambazonia. This will promote transparency. This will ensure that we are able to channel the resources to ground zero. This will ensure that we are able to keep track of whatever is contributed, and that at the same time we avoid waste. Now, I'd like to ask this question. Where in all this did the various organizations go wrong? I think your guess should be as good as mine. Ask those organizations that are militantly against the creation of the opening of this unique account what they are hiding. Ask them what they are protecting. Ask them what they stand to benefit by making sure such an account does not exist. Ask them why they are so militarily shouting on rooftops and everywhere, keep contributing only to your organizations. We see situations where people who yesterday said don't contribute to any other organizations, today are so willing to say contribute to the various organizations because they are afraid to lose some kind of autonomy. That is not it. The unique account that we set out to create was intended to cover only these areas of cooperation and collaboration highlighted. Each organization was going to be expected to go out there and find its own means for their day-to-day running to manage other areas not covered within this collaboration framework. I think this should be absolutely clear to everyone. That you understand that it doesn't make sense to go out there and stand and try to vilify people, whereas the intention we have to have at this moment should be to be building that synergy that should give us a victory that we so badly need. Time is not on our side. Today is the 8th of September. How many days do we have left before facing the major challenges that are before us, that we find ourselves in this bickering? Now, the next thing. We have all seen a message sent out there by Comrade Chem Leo, who chaired, Comrade Chem Leo is of the IG. He chaired the committee that was charged with ensuring the fundraising, made up of representatives from the various organizations. Mr. Chem Leo explains very clearly that it was their independent decision to give out the checks to the representative of the Republic of Ambazonia, Dr. Aaron Mancho, and then to give the cash to the IG for security reasons. I don't want to get so much into the nitty-gritties. But it turns out that a problem arose because Dr. Mancho decided to create an account and then to have those checks paid into that account and then wait back that the leaders should come out with a joint communique and provide an account that the money should be put inside because it is jointly raised money should be put in a joint account. Whatever motivated his thoughts, whoever was behind that, we can't tell. But now, for Comrade Anu to come and refer to the member of ACT, Comrade Anu, and each and every one of us should take this home. The ACT did not come into this collaborative platform as the ACT. No, we don't have the ACT as a member. The ACT was not a signatory to our resolutions. The resolutions were signed by frontline organizations. If they are members of ACT, that is their organization on their own side. The IG has its own group of organizations. So I want to make this very clear that it is derogatory. It is bad faith to go out there and not talk about Dr. Aaron Mancho and what he did, or talk about Dr. Aaron Mancho of the Republic of Ambazonia. You got to talk of the ACT. This has got to be stopped. This is a kind of mentality that has retarded the progress of the struggle. We as a people must rise up now to take our responsibility. People are dying in droves on a daily basis. Even at this moment I'm talking to us, people are there being killed. And all we can do here is fight for hegemony. All we can do here is fight to be the one on top, is fight to have everybody fight under you. All you can do here is fight to make sure you discredit all other organizations because you want to have primacy. My dear brothers and sisters, all this has got to stop. There is a beginning to everything, but there's also certainly an end to all of those kind of things. The responsibility to stop this nonsense lies in the hands of the people of Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. You give us the power. You have the power to withdraw that power from us and to make sure that this whole nonsense stops. I pointed out in the discussion of the 15th of August that the time for us to put an end to I had come so that we give room to we. And the only way to do that is to make sure that we avoid this finger pointing and this blame game. If we don't stop this, we will not get there. Dr. Mancho Aaron made an error. Some will say he was overzealous. It is incumbent on us to resolve that mistake. And the leaders were in a conclave, in a meeting, working on making sure that this situation is handled. Now, when you come and spew it to the public and lay the blame on the ACT, Does that solve the problem? The people handed over the opportunity for us to lead them. They expect us to solve problems, don't throw those problems back at them. So having told the people about this, has it resolved the problem? Has it made sure that those checks are fully cleared and the money put in place to be delegated or directed to where it is supposed to go? These are fundamental questions. That when you go out there and you say you are a responsible man, that you are leading a revolution, and you go out there to talk, you should ask yourself these questions and provide answers. My people, we have suffered enough. My people, we have seen enough carnage. My people, it is too much. We have to put an end to this by hook or by crook. This collaboration is the way forward. I insist, this collaboration is the way forward. We must all rise and say no to manipulation, say no to greed, say no to avarice, say no to all of those tendencies that are meant to retard us. And one way to say that is to make sure we simply stop funding the organizations. Don't give your money to any organization again until this issue of a joint account is sorted out, because it is in the interest of all the Amazonians. Anybody who is against this initiative has a hidden agenda and must come before the people of Southern Cameroon and tell them what this agenda is all about. We should stop playing these games. We have suffered enough. Our enemy is moving all over the world, raising funds here and there to destroy us, leaving people, leaving even our brothers and sisters who are still working in the public service of La Republique du Cameroon to raise funds and use in fighting us. And we shall sit here and be thinking that we should keep protecting our individual positions that we have already acquired for I don't know what benefit. No. We must put an end to this. And the time to do that is now. For this to work, we need the participation and collaboration of the people. Stop funding our individual organizations until we clear the cleavages on this. We have to stop this nonsense once and for all, because we must go ahead. Honestly, I was driven to respond to that communication by Comrade Christian the very next day. But because of the anger that was brewing in me and virtually all of us, when we realized that that is what happened, I talked to the others, and we agreed to turn to Thomas Jefferson when he said, when angry, count to 10 before you speak. If very angry, count to 100. That is why this response is coming but today, not the next day. Because if it came before today, the degree of anger that was brewing in us would have led me to say worse things that wouldn't have helped, that would have rather brought more division than we already have. This is the time for us to take note that avarice, vaulting ambition, stupid pride will not free Southern Cameroons. No, it is humility, it is selflessness, it is a clear understanding of what we all stand to lose as a people if this revolution were to fail. That would take us to Boya. Let this be very clear in the minds of all the people. We are determined to ensure that right to the least dollar raised within the framework of collaboration will reach the people on ground zero. Don't you bother. We may tear ourselves as we are tearing, but one thing you must hold tight in your mind is that the determination to make sure we work together as a group is clear. We will fight, we will disagree, we will even quarrel, but rest assured, we will work as one. We will collaborate. We will provide the kind of leadership the people are expecting, and we will make sure that we ride our revolution to safe shores. God is with us.